Hello everyone, we are from EQ International Magazine, India's leading solar magazine in the industry. And today we have with us Mr. Rahul Dasari from Sunshot Technologies. Hello sir, good morning.
Hi, very good morning.
So first of all, I would just like to have a brief introduction about Sunshot Technologies and what product offerings does it have for the Indian solar market.
So we at Sunshot, we build, these comprehensive solar power plants on the rooftops of commercial and industrial customers like airports, train stations, special economic zones, resorts, hotels, education institutions. So you name the kind of roof, and we build a solar power plant, and we synchronize a solar power plant in such a way that it integrates with the existing grid of that particular building. So it's synchronized with the grid and also with diesel generator. We give a very comprehensive operation and maintenance and an IoT platform on which the entire solar plant can be seen online. We have a command and control system which on a real-time basis monitors the solar power plant, and we have an alert mechanism where if any component of the solar plant is going a bit awry, it pops up. Alerts go to the customers and to our O&M team, and we are able to nip it in the bud. So we do a lot of data-driven maintenance, which is first of its kind in the industry. Yeah.
As per your opinion, sir, how much technology is going to be a factor in the upscale of rooftop technology, rooftop market in India?
I think technology is going to be the most important element, my friend. People feel that rooftop is easy. The fact is not. If you see out of the 10 gigawatt that India has done, 9 is on ground mounted and only 1 is on rooftop. Ideally, it should have been, say, a ratio of 2 is to 3, but it's 1 is to 9. And we should ask why is that? The reason being every rooftop is customized. In ground mounted, whether it's a plant in Punjab or Tamil Nadu, it's the same old system. You pilot, you put a solar plant, step it up and evacuate into the grid. Whereas in rooftop, a metal roof, a cal zip, clip lock, different kind of RCC with penetration, without penetration. So there are a lot of complexities. On top of that, few people would like to have a car parking lot on top of an MLCP, the way we have done for Cognizant, which is the largest in the country, almost half a megawatt. Few companies like Gabriel, they would like a car parking lot on the top of a flat land. Few companies again like Accenture, a couple of IT companies, malls, etc. They want a rooftop cafeteria or kind of a lounge below which people can utilize the space. So all these customization takes a lot of engineering and effort. And at the same time, because we have to paste the panels along with the roof in such a way that they're also structurally stable, the generation in rooftop is slightly compromised. You can't use trackers to enhance your generation. You can't give optimal tilt and azimuth sometimes. So even the generation is a little bit lesser as compared to ground mounted. But nevertheless, it makes tremendous sense because when we have done the back end calculation, so say for a commercial guy who's paying above 10 rupees, a rooftop solar would generate almost 200 rupees per square foot of revenue every year, and that is almost 30% of your rental yields that most commercial spaces get, and you will get this for a roof which is of no use. Similarly, in the case of industrial, who are at around 7 to 8 rupees tariff, it is a rental yield of almost 135 to 140 rupees a square foot. So the point is, you have a vacant roof which is not giving any commercial sense. You have sunlight falling on it. Better to tap it and use it for generating electricity. And all these power plants have a payback between 2 to 3.5 years, depending on your tariff. So, like if you're a commercial guy in Maharashtra paying 14 rupees, or a commercial customer in Tamil Nadu who gets 15-20% of blended power from DG, it's a payback of 2.5 years. And if, say, you are an industrial a customer like, say, a Volkswagen or, say, a Renault Nissan, it's a payback of, around 3.5 years. So, a short payback for an asset which almost have a 25 years life. So, sometimes I feel it's a complete no-brainer.
Um, Rahul, you mentioned this 2 to 3 ratio, and this is the same which the government has set for the means out of the 100 gigawatt target, 40 gigawatt is been allotted for rooftops. So, as per your opinion, how likely is it that the industry will be able to achieve this 40 gigawatt target in the set timeline of 5 years by 2022?
So, you speak asking the 40 gigawatt in the rooftops?
Yes, yes. Means, do you think the industry will be able to achieve it in the set timeline?
Yeah. Frankly speaking, I think it's going to be extremely tough. Extremely tough. My estimate is even if by 2022 or 2024, if we are between 25 gigawatt kind of a number in the rooftop space, it will be huge. So right now we are at 1 gigawatt. So we have 25 gigawatt to go. But what is most important is that certain policy and regulatory help from government. So, for example, 80% of rooftop market is going to be captive. It's not going to be your OPEX or boot. So sometimes people miss that. Now, on the captive model, stuff like the accelerated depreciation benefit that pushed wind from 0 to 28 gigawatt over 1 decade, something like that is required, which has been kind of pulled out. And another very important element in the rooftop space is one is the practical implementation of net metering. State after state, because net metering hits the revenues of discoms, they're making it extremely difficult for rooftop solar to kind of pick up. And what happens in rooftop is, you typically, most of the commercial building do not have load on Saturday and Sunday, so that is 104 days in a year. Okay, so almost 30%. That power needs to get banked via net metering, else it goes waste. And storage right now is very expensive to kind of store that power. So net metering is a very important element. Your accelerated depreciation benefit is again very important. And I think from a policy perspective, many states are going ahead, like you have in Haryana, that any industrial customer needs to have 5% of power coming from rooftop. So those kind of regulations are extremely important, where you need to make rooftop compulsory. It's just like in vehicles, suddenly you have BS4 is the new norm. So something like that, any new building coming or any old existing building has to have rooftop solar. It has to be made mandatory. And the second is RPO compliance. So RPO compliance right now with rooftop solar is a bit on the gray ground. People don't know how to comply with RPO if you are doing a rooftop solar, because the distribution company does not have access to your meter reading. So they don't know how much you have generated. So simple thing is, put a discom approved solar generation meter, and also have a rooftop, help companies comply with RPO, give them carbon credits or renewable energy certificate kind of credits. So all these activist mechanisms is going to, push up the target. Because otherwise, the capex of rooftop has fallen tremendously in the last 2 years, as you would have seen. It makes great financial sense. I think a little bit of push from regulatory and policy perspective might push the people who are sitting on the fence to go and invest in rooftop solar.
Yeah, exactly. And Rahul, you recently installed a project at Nampally railway station in Hyderabad. So I'd
Yeah.
just like to have some comments on that particular project. What kind of challenges did you face in that particular implementation of that project?
Yeah, I think the two projects. One is Nampally that you see here, and the inauguration with the Union Railway Minister, Mr. Suresh Prabhu, and Labour Minister, Mr. Bandaru Dattatreya. So the one at Nampally and Pune are definitely the feather in our cap. Many people ask us how we did that, and I would like to explain the model. It wasn't like we bid with railways and got an order from them, which many of the big corporates are doing. We tapped into what we call the CSR funds. So as per the CSR Act, 2% of PAT industries have to spend in CSR. And what we did here was, we convinced many corporates, saying that investing in public utility spaces like airports, railway station, bus stands, schools, colleges, etc. makes sense, because it improves the life of public. Okay, and with that, we were able to get Pune-based listed company Persistent Systems on board. So their CSR arm called Persistent Foundation, they basically donated these two solar power plants to railways. When we took the proposition to the DRMs in Pune and Hyderabad, they were absolutely thrilled, because at no cost, solar power plant was coming to the railway. So they also gave a go ahead. So it was a win-win. Persistent complied with the CSR Act, railways got free power, and we as a company got the opportunity to execute this business. And that's how this project took shape. And as I'm speaking to you, we have around 230 kilowatt approximately installed at Nampally, and around 160 kilowatt installed at Pune railway station, and they both are giving quite excellent results. Now the railways are getting back and saying, hey, I have another 20 odd stations, can you coordinate with the corporates and get funding out here? And we have a team which is absolutely tapping into this segment. Yeah,
That's great, Rahul. I mean, this is of course better than the freebies kind of CSR activities which corporates do. So that was a very nice opportunity speaking to you, Rahul. Thank you so much for your time.
thank you, pleasure, thank you.